Welcome back to another Best Ball Mania 5 stream. Looks like two of our guests have last minute backed out. I'm assuming baby duty. Corey sounds like he's going somewhere for the 4th. So it'll just be Alex and I, maybe Nick. He said he might be late, so he might hop in the middle of it to derail everything.
Looks like we're getting a plus EV draft, Patrick.
There we go. We haven't had one in a while.
I feel like this one's going to feel weird only having the two of us and not doing 5 drafts at once.
Yeah, the 5 drafts
that was fun.
We did that yesterday. Somehow those teams came together and they looked all right. Like
They did. I think you had the right idea going in with the same strategy for each team, so that when we did have to pick quick on the clock, it was like no brainer. All right, we're either going receiver here, we're going running back here. Like it was just, it helped when things got hairy.
Yeah, like we knew that receivers we were pretty much done early, and we could just focus on other stuff.
Yep.
But all right, we will hop into a Best Ball Mania 5 draft. The schnauzers are all closed now.
I was hoping to get one in this morning when I woke up, but unfortunately they filled overnight at some point.
Yeah, those all filled in like a week. It's crazy.
Yeah, when you can do a draft in 20 minutes, those things are gonna fill.
The 10-second one filled in I think like a few days. Then yeah, I mean they're just.
I was kind of curious how it was gonna fill too. I was like, do I start playing the Schnauzer 5 drafts first or the 3s first?
It was in order is how they filled.
Yep. It became very clear very quick how they were filling.
I think was so fast. People just went for the most drastic difference at first, which was the 10-second clock. And they're like, okay, well, now I'll do the 15 and 20. I feel like 20 is pretty, like, I
kind of wish that's how it was. Like, I kind of wish it was. Yeah, I kind of wish the regulars were 30 or 20 instead of 30.
Yeah.
Nice. We got the 3rd pick. Let's go.
Very nice.
Seems to always happen when Corey's not on. We seem to always get
a high pick.
Much better pick. Yeah, whenever he's on, it's like 7, 8, or the turn every time.
Yeah, that's true. We don't get many in the beginning on these streams.
It's pretty wild for how many we're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy variance,
That's why you got to do a lot.
Yeah. So you spread out that portfolio. But again, Christian McCaffrey, a guy that I finally made the decision to full fade him.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago that I was like, I'm just full fading. So I probably have like a few early shares, but I'm just gonna be pretty much out on him this year. I actually saw something last year. Christian McCaffrey crushed.
Yes.
And this was in
he was the 1-1 for sure.
Last year. And he but in like the drafters tournament, which is different from underdog, obviously, like spike weeks,
you know, Tyreek or Chase.
I'm fine with either. I do have way more Chase, but it's I don't know. Get it different with Tyreek here.
Let's spread it out. I feel like we definitely took Chase at least on one team yesterday. Feel like we've taken him a couple of times. We don't have much Tyreek. I'm gonna spread out a little bit, but keep going.
I was saying so drafters, which is like a full season long points. There's no playoff weeks. It's just cumulative points. I think Christian McCaffrey was only like on like 10 of the top like 100 teams or whatever. So it just shows you like how valuable even just receivers are then, like,
crazy.
So I don't know. If Christian McCaffrey beats me this year, I think Bijan or Brees is going to be the 101, or is going to finish as the Anthony Richardson type.
Who were Brees? Bijan or Brees? You think?
I think Bijan or Brees is going to be the
1-1.
Will be the first running back drafted next year.
Yeah,
I think they will finish as the RB1.
If David Montgomery went down, I think Gibbs is in the conversation, but it would take him going down for that to happen. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, obviously Brees has a couple of injuries that he's coming off of, but fresh legs left and right.
Rodgers back.
Yep. Jamar 101.
I love that call, Andy. So I think we did this the other day, like or one of these streams. I was like, okay, who do you think is gonna finish at each position, like quarterback one, RB one, wide receiver one, tight end one, and I think I had Brees as my. It's literally like tied for Beast and Brees for me, but Chase is my like. I think Chase is gonna be the best receiver this year.
It'll be interesting. I have a feeling that the Cowboys are for sure going to pay CD. I just think
Yeah,
they pay their guys when it's an absolute superstar. I feel like Jerry Jones ponies up like he's. I think he's going to stay there. So it'll be interesting
they have to.
because they have to. They really do. I mean, isn't Dak in a contract year too?
Yeah, they need to. They just messed up everything, like with
They
how they
really do.
paid their guy.
Paying Zeke screwed them over quite a bit. If
Yeah,
they hadn't paid him 2 years ago or whatever it was,
they
yeah,
they
2, 3
don't
years ago,
handle things well.
they would have had money for CD. Wouldn't be
Yeah,
in this situation.
I mean they can. It's just they should have just done everything early. Cowboys missing the playoffs, according to our special guest Felix. Sign him and then trade him next year when they miss the playoffs. Okay,
Phew.
I just I mean
Okay.
that was that was that was Felix's take, but I don't think anyone
You
agreed
were
with
yeah,
him on
you
our. I mean, it was a bold take. He said it was a
it's
bold.
a bold stand. I mean, so he's definitely bullish on Jaden Daniels then, and he thinks maybe the Giants defense isn't gonna be half bad.
I just think he thinks the Cowboys suck. That's
Yeah,
like what I like. It's kind of what I got. Like he just
and he's a
doesn't.
Chargers fan, so there's no, like,
Yeah,
interdivision like Frankie being like, "Oh yeah, the Cowboys are going to be contending for the one overall," you'd be like, "All right, you're an Eagles
coming
fan
from an Eagles
for sure."
fan, but no,
Right.
I just don't see any way. Like yeah, I just don't see any way that they would.
The worst they'd be is like fringe playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the worst I could see the Cowboys being
Yeah.
this year. Okay, if so, we have Waddle or Tyreek, so we can't get the double. Saquon his falling by the day.
He is.
But uh,
I'd be fine with him. I'd be fine with Debo or Mike.
Debo or is Ayuk there?
No,
No, Debo. I'm fine with Debo. I guess has a matchup with them in Week 16, so we could go Debo.
over Saquon 2 times
Yeah,
a year. All right.
So here's the thing. I do think Saquon, as more casual drafters, I'm trying to like guess who the risers will be like as we get closer to the season and when casual drafters, especially in August, start drafting. Like if I feel like Derrick Henry,
Yeah.
like Kyron, even I feel like these guys are going to actually end up moving back up, and some of the receivers will start to fall. So this is probably a good time if you want some shares of Saquon, Derrick Henry, whatever. I mean, this is the time to probably buy.
Yeah. Saquon or A Chain's going to be there.
Casuals are just gonna if they go to underdog
Saquon's going to get
draft,
way boosted.
they're going to be shocked by their wide receiver sticker prices and
Yeah.
how RBs are falling.
Yeah, Saquon will go back up to like 15, 16. Wow, he's still there. Do
I,
we
I yeah, I
I
think
think we have to
we
go to
take him.
value, right? Like,
I think we take him there.
yeah.
See, and this is how you buy kind of low there, and yeah. So that's kind of been my point. Why take Saquon when you can get Jacobs in the fifth or just any running backs later, but really the case is just like Jacobs could definitely be like in a split field with
Yep.
Lloyd. Like we know it's pretty much just Saquon. And if you the bull case for him is just less tush pushes. Saquon is they're not falling down the 1 yard line all the time, and then Hurts just shoving it in. And they just that doesn't happen. And then you running back just gets double digit touchdowns and they crush behind a great offensive line,
Right.
which
I mean, that's Saquon carrying it from the 1 yard line as opposed to Hurts a lot of the time.
right.
Like he's still scoring majority of the time. I mean, I have to imagine with how their season ended last year with him being injured and them falling apart in the playoffs that they're going to do. I mean, they're not going to take away his rushing upside. It's what makes him so good. But I have to imagine now that they have a legitimate RB1 in the
Yeah.
backfield that they're going to prioritize keeping him healthy and feeding Saquon more.
Right. Yeah.
Like, he's still going to get snaked on some. They're still going to run it. They're still going to do the tush push, when it really counts and when it really matters. Those games that
Yes.
are like one score games or like playoff implications or anything like that. But otherwise, I have to imagine Saquon's going to be getting some great looks behind that awesome O line.
Yeah, and Saquon in like the early second, mid second, it's a lot tougher for me with some of those
Yeah.
receivers that I just would like. But I mean,
Yeah.
I've always loved Saquon as a talent. So yeah, when you give him his best offensive line,
Yeah.
yeah, where
Saquon in the
Saquon,
third is an absolute fucking
yeah,
smash.
and
Smash.
it gives you a more unique team as well because not many people will have teams where you're getting Saquon in the uh,
The
third round.
third. Yeah. Especially to your point, as we get closer and closer to the season, more
He should
casuals
go
start
up.
hopping on. He's going to be an early second rounder again.
Now, Coach Hill over there, I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
What are we looking at? Coach Hill.
Gibbs, Taylor, Kelsey, Pacheco. I mean, I
Might
don't
have
know.
another Buffalo Bill in the draft.
I think
That's
if I had those 3 running backs, I would just stop at 3.
yeah.
I
Maybe
might
one,
just take
maybe like a CEH in the last round or something. Like
or
one high up,
Braylon Allen or
or
something.
yeah, some really high upside, really late round guy. But otherwise, that's crazy.
You take the 3 that early, it's just
That's
I think
nuts.
I would have to be done.
But it feels like
Okay.
there's going to be some value in this draft after a start like that.
Yeah, that makes me happy, like, getting Saquon there, if that guy's
Yeah.
sucking in all the running backs,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a fight for him, maybe.
Yep.
I mean, Josh Allen is
I know, dude.
oh, man. I one thing I don't want is Hurts with Saquon, and we have no receiver, I don't want Hurts.
I agree with that.
But Josh Allen is there.
I mean, it's so hard. He's just
Yeah.
QB1 upside every single year. And you've got multiple opportunities. Like, we still have an opportunity at Kincaid here. We're up in 4 more picks.
Yep.
And even if we miss out on him, like Shakir, Curtis Samuel are for sure
Yeah.
available later. It's like one of the few years his top target is available not significantly with Kincaid, but like well after him.
Yeah.
Whereas like Diggs is
I
like
haven't
first round the last couple of years. So like if you don't have Diggs, you're like you could still take
right.
Allen with the rushing upside, but it's like a little less enticing. Whereas now
Yes.
it's like,
You get Kincaid next.
yeah,
I really hope it's been I've every time I've taken Allen recently, I've always gotten sniped before I get him. Like someone takes Kincaid like the pick before me, and I get
yeah,
so angry because then yeah, you have to. I hate Keon Coleman, so I don't get him, and then I go for. But the one thing is, so like this is what happens. Like when you get Saquon, yes, you got a good follower in Saquon, but now you start to feel a little dicey about your wide receivers after only having 2 through 5 rounds.
yeah,
We really need to get 2 straight in the next 2 picks
yep,
to feel comfortable.
yep. Yeah, I mean we got
But
a
yeah,
steal in Saquon and Josh so far this draft. Because like when you go elite tight end, like I almost bunched those guys in with a wide receiver 3 pick that you would be taking otherwise.
yeah, but it's just why because of the landscape this year, wide receivers just get sucked
Right.
dry
No,
so
yeah, no, I know exactly. I know exactly what you're saying. Laughing at Corey
Coleman. Yeah, no.
Coleman.
We need good receivers on this team, Corey. Like, we only have 2 through 5 rounds now. We need actual players, not just dusty Keon Coleman.
I wonder if people will start feeling the pressure with Coach Hill taking 3 RBs early and a couple of other teams with
Yeah.
2.
They're going to have to.
Yeah,
I would assume like it'll eventually, especially if he takes like a fourth.
right. That would
I
be
would love
fucking
that.
nuts. That would be
I would love that. But yeah, I mean, at 70 and 70, like, there should be Lad McConkey's there, stuff like that. I don't appreciate the host.
Yeah, we'll be looking in the, Rashi's continuing to rise. The,
Yeah, no, Rashi
Hopkins,
is going.
Rashi, Ladd, Deontay, Christian Watson range of these next 2,
Yeah.
which I love getting 2 in that there's, like, that bunch of them there from, like, 69 to, like, 75. JSN's in there too. Like, those 6 to 8 receivers in that range, if you can get 2 of them, I love that. Most drafts, you get 1.
Yeah, I do like this range, so we'll be able to hit 2 of them hopefully, and hopefully there's a running back run here.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy did take a fourth.
He took James Cook.
Let's
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Chuck out all the RBs
Oh my gosh.
and an elite tight end.
That's nuts. That is
Yeah, so that
nuts.
his team will start to
He
pinch.
went Kittle, Kelsey. He
I mean,
went
he's burning
4 RBs, Kittle, Kelsey.
like paying the rake. Like he's not competing in this field here.
We are definitely advocating for Deontay.
Yeah, we love Deontay.
Absolute target monster. We don't have a ton of love for Bryce Young on this podcast, but Deontay is a target monster, and there's next to no competition in Carolina with him.
Gets open, like
Yep. Good separation, good hands.
yeah, like if we saw what he did with Thielen, and like I mean, you can imagine
Exactly.
what Deontay could do. Okay,
Yeah, we're
so
gonna
yeah,
have a good look.
Rome, Hopkins, McConkey. Yeah, we're gonna be able to get, I think, 2 decent picks
solid.
here. And then
What thing, Corey? What's he doing? He's just ditching the draft.
that guy might be. I don't.
You want to go hop
Let
here?
me see. I think. Yeah, Hopkins. I like Hopkins.
We don't have a ton of them.
Imagine taking Keon Coleman over DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh yeah, throwing it for someone else in their draft. Potentially. Sure, kind of looks like it the way he's drafting.
All right, so then we're at pick 75. Yeah, hopefully Ladd, Deontay, or Watson. Oh, and of course JSN. Like
We're gonna
target, but I
we're
love
gonna have
those
our pick
4.
of the litter.
Yep, we'll get one of them. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Watson looked like he's. I've been in a couple of drafts. That's a great username. Riley can't read. All right, you went Watson, Ladd.
Look, Deontay might just be the guy there, Andy.
Yeah. Let's see. It does feel so slow.
Yeah, I mean,
It's hilarious. I'm like, all right, draft, dude.
There we go.
Deontay. There we go.
All right, we've climbing back at receiver. I still think Curtis Samuel will be our next target.
Yeah.
And, I think ideally we still get, if we can get 2 more at 94, 99, that would make me feel good.
Yeah, Curtis is 92.
And then just really play like the hero RB and then hammer the running backs. And then we can get late we can get Will Levis, I think is a decent target with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Tua makes sense with getting Tyreek, but
Right.
we
have a couple of late outs for sure.
I'm trying to. Where's the Waddle drafter? Because if the Waddle drafter took like early
Super shorty, he's got 6 receivers and a tight end.
I was gonna see like sometimes you can find a team, and if the Waddle drafter had like 2 quarterbacks already, I think might have been able to push Tua, but
yeah,
we'll see what he does at quarterback.
And with Kincaid, we could even go Jonnu late. We did get him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think with Josh Allen, like
Yeah, we don't need it.
we don't need to like Will Levis with Hopkins, and then you still get Chig or something late. That's like a nice early tight end, early elite quarterback and elite tight end with a late quarterback, late tight end duo.
Yep.
And we were talking about Will Levis earlier already, so I think it's destiny that we we take him in this draft.
You guys are nuts over there at ETR. You guys are crazy. Burks?
I mean, there was that video that came out about with Will Levis. I never saw it personally, but
What video?
oh, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, there was like a Levis's like I think it was like a sex tape with whatever girl got leaked or whatever, and
No
that's
shit.
what. Yeah, this was like a few weeks ago.
No.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
and that's what caused like the spike in his ADP because
That's crazy, dude. That's fucking hilarious. That is so
no,
funny.
really, it's just I mean the Titans are gonna throw the ball a ton this year, and like if you think about it, they have Calvin Ridley, they have Hopkins, they trade for Boyd, they still have Burks in there, like they have all these, they have Chig, they have all these like what, and then even Pollard and Spears are kind of more known for their receiving ability.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense. They're just going to
New
completely air
OC,
it out.
new coaching staff.
Their pass rate is going to be very high.
Yeah.
Come on, Curtis Samuel.
Come on, Curtis.
Please.
Come on.
Otherwise, I'll feel really nice with Curtis Samuel
Yep.
and Kincaid. Let's go.
Hell yeah. All right, so we're up again at 99. Not a ton of receivers in that range. We could go Tony P
Yeah,
if we
set
really
up.
wanted to commit instead of Tua to commit to the Levis stack.
Yeah, I do like that.
And then we would just, I mean, solo Tyreek is still solo Tyreek. Like that's not the
No, yeah.
not the worst thing.
Tyreek, like Tua can have Tyreek can go for
Nuclear.
35 and Tua still not like break the slate.
Still throw it to Waddle a little bit. And I do think I like Nick's take on Jonnu. I mean, he's such an athletic tight end. We saw when Arthur Smith put him in roles. Do you want to go Tony P?
Yeah,
Or
I
a
think
receiver.
Pollard makes sense here.
Yeah. I mean, you saw what Arthur Smith did with him, even with Kyle Pitts there. The dude was producing. I mean, he clearly showed that he is a formidable pass catcher, route runner, kind of a nice athletic mismatch for a linebacker and or corner.
Yeah.
So in that really creative and fun Miami offense, I can see them scheming up some stuff for him.
I've always liked Jonnu. I first was like looked into him more when like Belichick like absolutely loved him, and that's what like really caught my eye. And then, I mean, yeah, he didn't obviously get used a ton even after Belichick's love, but you could just see like the upside with his after the catch ability.
Yeah.
And that's what you want in best ball, really. Like,
right.
And then you have Tyreek and Tua on the same team,
breaking off big plays. Well, so Corey is traveling, but it sounds like Nick had a hefty dose of some newborn spit up, and
walking up the stairs.
probably didn't want to come onto the podcast drenched in.
That would have been legendary, though. This guy just took his first receiver in round
Shakir
9.
Round 9. He took another tight end. He took another running back.
He might be.
For sure
he
is.
might be.
I think.
I wonder if we should screenshot this team and be like. But the thing is, it's like it's not. It's still sticking to ADP.
Right.
Well, it's like
it's just a weird start.
I wonder who he would. I don't know who he'd be helping.
I mean, you would have to think it's a guy either right in front of him or right behind him, probably, or like.
Well, no, because you can't gauge what position you're going to get. It would, I think, it would, if he's taking running backs and tight ends, I'd
Mhm.
imagine it would be a team that went running back and tight end early because then he's sucking all of that from the rest of the room.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. We'll take a look here after these next 2 picks.
I think we go receiver here or running. I don't think we get to
No, I think with taking Tony
Cook.
P, we can push to Levis. Um, we got this group of 4 that
Cooks has correlation with Saquon and
yep,
Deontay Johnson in week 15, so I think he makes a little bit of sense here.
I like it.
Although Brandon Cooks feels like he's about to just absolutely fall off a cliff here. Could be this year, but we'll see.
It's coming.
He's old.
It's coming for sure.
Okay. Judy would make a good amount of sense with Tyreek.
Yep. Let's Oh, there he goes.
Okay. I mean, I still like Jacoby Myers.
Dude, I feel like Jacoby gets absolutely no love for putting up just solid numbers across the board with garbage quarterbacks left and right.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because Sport Bowers is there now. He's arguably now
Yeah,
like third
that's
in
true.
not a great. People love like Wicks is a guy that people just think is, even though there's so many receivers in Green Bay, people are just sold that he's very talented. So
I think he's very talented. I think people are discounting Romeo Dubes way too much.
I just think you're discounting like how crowded with tight ends with
Yeah.
and Love, like if Love having to continue to be what he did at the end of last season, not even the
Yep.
beginning. Like he was very hit and miss. So it's like betting on Love just being really good all year. And then like all these Packers receivers go like Watson, Reed goes first, and then it's Watson, Wicks, and Dubes are all. It's kind of crazy how high they all go
Yeah.
to me. 4 receivers.
I mean, they paid him off of half a season. Like they gave him top quarterback money basically off half a season to play.
Yeah, that we'll see.
We'll see. Curious what Coach J Hill is drafting here. Dotson. Okay, so I mean, given the start, he at least is hammering wide receivers at this
I
point.
feel,
I don't
what
know.
else is he gonna do? Like if at that point, it's like I feel like it'd be obvious if you're just not taking, unless he's just trying a really weird strategy
Yeah,
where he
I'm
just
with you,
takes
Andrew.
like 10 straight from rounds 8 to 18 and
Wild.
see what happens. But
You might do it again. We'll see.
yeah,
Yep.
yep, he did. So weird
Like
strategy,
Rick.
but
We'll see how it works out for you, bud.
yeah,
All right, so we can wait on Levis until
late
4 picks from now.
and Chig, right? With the after Levis.
Yep.
So the next 3 running backs probably is our target right
Yeah,
now.
we got 7 receivers, so definitely targeting running back.
Yep. So trying to think of, there's Rico. Well, what pick are we at next? Yeah,
142 and
so
then
Rico.
147. I mean, if Kendre's there,
Yep, Kendre, Charbonnet, Rico, Ty Chandler.
Rico just went.
Damn, I really wanted Rico.
Kendre's there. I think we go Kendre over Ty.
Yeah, I like Kendre. I mean, I probably like Ty Chandler a little bit more just because I think it's possible he has like a little bit of a role regardless. And I guess Kendra Miller might too. But I think Ty Chandler's role might be solidified a little bit more. But the tiebreaker, they're so close. Kendra has a little bit more correlation with Jacoby Myers in week
Yeah.
17.
I mean, I think it depends on where Kamara's contract talks go. Like he's holding
Yeah.
out. So I don't know. All right, we're on the clock again here. You got Wright, Jaleel, Vidal if we're
I do
going
like
running back.
Vidal.
Uh,
Although
I like Mooney and Burton, but we already
I
have
do like
7.
Mooney. I do love Mooney this year.
We have 7 receivers. That would definitely be our last, like
Yeah, I think
7 solid guys.
we can take Mooney because I don't really think that we could add MVS or Claypool or Tyler Boyd to our stack
Right.
but I actually think Mooney. I mean,
He's a stud, man. I mean, I watched him for 3-4 years. He gets open. He's a stud. He just hasn't had guys that have been able to hit him. He struggled with a little bit of drops last year for sure, but he's got a ton of talent. Kirk has shown that he can bolster a receiver or two, and it's probably the best situation he's been in from an entire receiving corpse. So
yeah, I think they're just gonna get him go, and he is like a spike week kind of guy.
yeah,
Like you
he
can
does
definitely
blow
see
up.
him. And with Kirk Cousins, I just have to imagine he's one of my favorite like late wide receiver twos you can get in these drafts. Like
Yeah.
I get Pitts it's like Pitts in London and he's like the third
Yep.
option, but I
13th
mean
round.
look at some of these other guys, Xavier Legette
Yep.
and Ricky Pearsall, who Ricky Pearsall might be behind Debo, Ayuk,
Kittle.
is behind Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle, and
And
then
then
Juwan
maybe
Jennings they
CMC
just paid.
and CMC.
And TMC. So it's like, okay, who else here? Jalen Polk's a rookie. Like we don't even know how that's going to shake out with Drake May as the quarterback.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Burton's in a pretty good spot.
yeah, but again, still the clear third. Like Higgins and
Yes.
Chase will dominate target share.
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson in this range. Like I don't
Gross.
know. Darnell Moody's for me one of my favorite like 13th round receiver targets. If you're trying to tack on a few more.
Got some nice running backs here as well, assuming some of these guys fall.
Yeah, I definitely think we got to get a running back here.
Chuba has been reported as the clear-cut back. I know Jonathan Brooks is coming off that ACL and probably
I
will
think I
have
need
to
draft more of Chuba actually.
Yeah, I think he concedes and or splits towards the end of the year, but at the front end of the year, it looks like it's just him. And he didn't do like amazing numbers, but 905 and then 40 receptions out of the backfield. It's not terrible.
Yeah. My biggest Gibson definitely makes sense here. My
Tony
biggest
and then
thing with
Levis.
Chuba is like he's not like a league. He's not going to win you yearly. He's not that type of guy.
No.
Like even if Brooks was injured the whole year,
Yep.
he'll help you with your advance rate a ton. I think like if Brooks were to really that injury bother him and Chuba ends up playing like a big role, or let's say Brooks just re-injures himself and Chuba's the main guy all year.
Right.
He'll help your advance rate and all, but he's not gonna be like a Kamani Vidal if Kamani Vidal is the lead Chargers back.
Right.
Like that's like a league winner type. So that's the reason why I haven't been getting, but I think he makes more sense if you're doing like 0 RB teams where you just kind of you just want those consistent points mixed in with the other upside. Like if you start off with like that one guy, like if you start off with like Jonathan Taylor and Chan and some, I don't know what Chuba's doing for your team. Like it's just he's never going to do anything.
Nope. But yeah, he's a guy that you're going to get points off the bat with going 0 RB, which is pretty rare this late.
Right.
Almost everyone else is either the backup coming off an injury or unclear at this point in time. And yeah, he's yeah, I agree with that completely.
But yeah, for I am on the side of like I don't like targeting running backs after like their ACL injuries. Um, Brees obviously was one of the few that
Slight
like
anomaly.
yeah, but it was still later early in the season. It was still later in the season that he
Yeah.
crushed. Now we'll see is Brooks like an athletic freak like Brees was and just get past an ACL, but you know, history has shown that it's still very hard for running backs to really crush it right after their ACL injury. But
And then couple that with being in a Panthers offense
yeah, and being
late in the year when they're going to be competing to lose for the first pick. Like
yeah,
it's a tough situation to walk into.
yes.
I
Which
do think he's like a freak though. I think he's a physical
he can
freak.
catch balls too,
Yeah.
Brooks.
Yeah.
I like Brooks coming out. Like I'm
Yep.
gonna get like I said, Javante I was out on last year and I'm buying right back in this year.
Yep.
I'll be right back in on Brooks next year.
Do you think Javante ends up starting the year with the Broncos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you think he's the RB1
I
starting?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So none of this camp talk is
I know.
swaying you
I
on
think
that.
when push comes to shove, we're gonna it's Javante's talent will will show and everyone will be right back in on Javante Williams.
Dude's a stud.
I'm trying to identify guys that like when camp starts, like I'm trying to like foresee like okay, we know this is the situation for these teams. Like once we just get that report, what's
Right.
their ADP? And to me, it's again, it's the Chargers backfield. Like the second they're like Kamani Vidal, man, he's going to jump to the he's going to jump like so 50 picks or something if like they come out and say like he's seems to be in like the lead for the job or just like really good reports come out or Rico Dowdle something about with the Cowboys. I feel like he's a guy that could really jump up. Well, I don't think we draft in the woods here because we're getting Shig right now, and we're done at quarterback and tight end
And receiver.
and receiver.
I think it's RB from here on out. We got
Yep.
2 picks left. Yeah, definitely get 6 RBs. I think
It'll
I do think I have a feeling Vidal is going to be the backup and Gus is going to be the lead dog. Gus obviously has not been able to stay healthy in recent years. So I do think there's a chance Vidal, by the time it really matters, is going to be the lead dog there.
I know, like I have been drafting him, and I get he's a guy that could be a zero. Like
Yes, very
you're drafting
possible.
him, and it's a risky pick in the sense that we don't know a lot right now. But to me, it's totally worth the upside with early drafting right now. Like
Yeah,
if you're early drafting, those are you have to take on the risk. Like you don't just play every draft safe like we don't know yet. You need to be guessing. That's the only benefit to drafting early before the news comes out.
right. I mean, he was going in the 200s when we first
Um,
started taking him.
I think Damian Pierce. I think he's probably the clear backup, and he could get traded maybe.
And they're talking him up a little bit, whether that's for trade bait or whatever. They're saying he's going to have a role of some sort. So, um,
Shipley
yeah,
went, but okay, I guess Shipley didn't make sense on this. Now, I was going to say Shipley has been a guy I'm trying to get more of in
yes.
the last round.
So we definitely were drafting Vidal at our last pick or second to last pick at the start of these live streams.
Yeah,
Shipley was a guy we were taking in our last pick. He's only risen a little bit since then. But yeah, I mean, Saquon re-aggravates a soft tissue injury. He's right there. There's always this weird. It almost feels like Kenneth Gainwell has like dirt on the OC there because like they
always
just
involved.
consistently try and use him, and it's like I mean he'll break off a run or two, but there's nothing like
This
special about it.
Yeah, it's very odd because I think he just does some of the little things right probably in
Yeah,
train practice, and they just I don't know reward him for that.
coaches like him.
I am noticing this guy that took it's probably collusion. He's taking Gino and Rogers.
Gino, he's got Rogers and Corley, Gino and
Yeah, but look
nobody.
what he took early.
Yeah, Gino with no one.
Oh, he didn't take any quarterbacks early. Okay. I
No.
thought he had taken 2 elite ones and then he added on those 2 for no.
Oh, no,
So
no, no.
I guess he but what is he
Went
gonna have, like, 6 receivers?
yeah. Yeah, maybe 7 if he takes one here. But
There you go, Nick. That's
his
the team Nick probably drafted. He got his early tight ends and his early running backs, then you went
Alright,
late.
yeah, he got to 7 with KJ Osborne. There you go.
0 wide receiver strategy.
Crazy talk.
I was hoping Tank Bigsby was gonna be there. Do we take a low-owned guy that isn't being drafted a lot and Trey Sermon? We can get a Colt, Corey.
Could get a call for Corey. It wouldn't be Woods, but I'm fine with it.
Just because, like, someone's the backup to Taylor and
Yep.
Evan Hull just coming off a bad injury. Why isn't it Sermon, right? Like, it is. I think it is just Sermon right now.
Yeah, I think it is too. They resigned
And to
him.
me, it's like Rasheen Ali or Sermon are the guys,
Yeah,
and Rasheen Ali seems like he's coming off of an injury himself, and he could still be the third back behind Henry and Justice Hill.
yep.
Sermon seems
Well,
like
and, Keaton Mitchell too. I mean, he's coming off
yeah,
an
and
injury as
Keaton Mitchell,
well,
yeah.
but, like, that's another guy that they relied on last year.
Yeah, that's who I'm trying to also, like, with the I'm like, "Okay, what are other running backs, like, that are fit the same exact profile as, like, the Elijah Mitchell, this Braylon Allens, the Will Shipp, like, guys that are just backups in offenses that could do, reasonably well." Trey Sermon, everyone's out on him because of the pass, but if he's the clear RB2, why
Yep,
can't it be?
yep. Yeah, I agree, Andy B. I think this was a sweet draft.
Yeah.
Um, got the
It
3rd
was his
overall pick.
hero RB.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
Saquon fell to us, Josh fell to us. Get our
uh
5 receivers in the first 7 rounds,
We
6
don't
and 8.
the only negative on this team is we don't have run backs on
Right.
the Buffalo, like, we don't have Jets or Jags, but, sometimes you don't get the run back, but the
Yeah.
stack is obviously more important.
Yep. And then we went, Will slanging it around Levis. It's our backup. We had been talking about him last episode. He got snaked from us, so it only made sense that we went back there,
Yep.
getting D Hop and Chig for that. But yeah, I like this draft, man. I think we did good.
Yep. Definitely it's a different team look than our usual, so got a different construction in there a little bit, elite tight end, elite quarterback, hero RB, so
Yep.
yeah, solid draft there. Actually, so usually we're going live Thursdays. It is the 4th this week, so we'll be back next week on Monday. We're in July now. We got 2
Crazy.
months till the season starts, and we're gonna start putting out our other fantasy, like, our league winner videos and our
Year
avoid
long
these
stuff.
avoid these guys video. So we're going to start recording those as well in addition to these drafts. So stay tuned. Please leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And we will see you Monday.